to a championship.
Yeah, little does TJ know, I've actually
Able to take out Killing All Day and Knob Lord. He was a collegiate champion. He was already professional.
Fresno, California.
Incorrect. Close,
From
though.
San Diego, California.
Incorrect. Close, though. Not close.
Where the heck are you from?
I was born in Control Priest, and Nalguidan has the Cloning Gallery Priest. And honestly, Cloning Gallery Priest, we've seen take some pretty surprise win against Control Priest. It takes a good amount of time before Control Priest can get the damage necessary to win the game. But it's very consistent. It happens on a consistent pace.
Yep.
Whereas the Cloning Gallery Priest can sometimes just win games on turn 9 if they have Velen and Malygos in their deck along with double Radiant Elemental and draw the burn with Zerek's Cloning Gallery at the beginning. But we'll get into that if that matchup comes up. But for now, it's Oddrogue for Ike versus the Hunter from Nalguidan.
All right, and a very important outcome has already happened on both sides here. The first is that Oddrogue is on the play and has a 1-mana minion to get onto the board. This denies Nalguidan's excellent opening with Dire Maul, Crackling Razor Maw into, well, it looked like he picked up Subject 9, so he would have had a very good curve. And now you can see the huge difference makers that being able to go first for second against Oddrogue is because of things like that Poison Dagger. However, that Spellstone pickup from Nalguidan, how important was that, TJ?
Very important. Oddrogue, one of the things that they do is they try and snowball a few minions on the board. And the way that Hunter can win if they lose the board early on is by counter pressure. Just by playing a Spellstone, the rogue commits to face, because that's often what they do when they realize they can't take the board, and you just race them. And relies on having burn damage, but now Nalguidan has Kill Command, has Crackling Razor Maul to try and find attack and extra damage to the face, so it is possible. Is going to have to deal with the Vicious Fledgling just because way too threatening of a minion, but...
Yep. Oh, man. It's just going to get worse and worse. Ike has cards that snowball into an avalanche. We have Vicious Fledgling, Cobalt Scalebane, and Myra's Unstable Element to cement the lead. And Secret Hunter versus Oddrogue is supposed to be pretty good for the Secret Hunter, if Secret Hunter can get on board ever. But that flanking strike draw, so now Nalguidan has two choices. You can go for the maximum board pressure through the Spellstone, which is not fully upgraded, but still very good stats for 5 mana. Or you can flanking strike that Vicious Fledgling, remove another threat, and save that coin. But what are you saving that coin for, TJ?
I don't know. I actually think I want to coin out the Dire Maul here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that too.
Because then that presents a threat of, hey, you have to worry about dealing with both of these beasts. If you look at what's on board, he can't deal with both. He doesn't have 6 damage to push through both. So I would coin out Dire Maul, and maybe if you need it, you can Crackling Razor Maul and adjust next turn to whatever you're going to play. So exactly. I don't think there's any reason to hold on to the coin.
Yeah, I think so too. 5 mana is almost, you know, going to be Spellstone every time, no matter what, unless there's just like an absolute emergency, then something else needs to be done. And so if you know you're going to do Spellstone, that leaves you with 1 mana free with the coin, so you might as well get that Dire Maul out anyways.
Yeah,
like you were saying.
Yep.
So this also gives Nalguidan that opportunity to maybe pick up something cheaper if he picks up, you know, say Animal Companion instead. So now he has the opportunity for Spellstone or the Razor Maul Animal Companion. This is the most amount of stats, and I think that's what's really important for Nalguidan to fight back, because he cannot play reactive. That is a losing proposition against Oddrogue if you are a Hunter player.
Yeah, but Nalguidan has still a lot of options. Master's Call, likely to pick up Spring Paw, which means he has Spring Paw plus Cracking Razor Maul to try and push through a big taunt with plus attack, or even with Poisonous. But Ike's hand, this is a very tough hand to beat.
Yeah,
he had
so much damage.
A good early start on the play with a 1-drop against Hunter, right where you want to be. Had good follow-up with Vicious Fledgling to keep Nalguidan on the back foot, and beyond that, has Myra's Unstable Element without having used a Cold Blood with charges in hand, so he's likely to pick up even more damage. It is a very tough hand.
Ooh. Are these 2 trades from Mike?
That,
wow.
1 trade.
And
okay.
that's, well, I meant 2 trades because he used his dagger.
He used his Deadly Poison to clear off the beast. I see what you mean.
His double poisoned, if you will. To try and remove some of those Spellstone on the board, and for good reason, because Nalguidan could get a lot of things that would punish him. Things like Leok, for example, if he was able to get double Leok, or a Huffer comes out now, all of a sudden the board evaporates, and then Ike has to start back from scratch. Oh! Whoa! Yeah, who's laughing now? All you guys who mock Leok, bullied him in elementary school. Well, guess who was a late bloomer, TJ? I may or may not be projecting my insecurities.
Well, in this particular instance, what he did was found his long-lost twin brother, which completed him.
Who also happened to be named Leok.
Who also happened to be named Leok, who completed him as a wyvern.
Oh, is he a wyvern? I thought he was like a monkey.
No, he's a wyvern.
Oh yeah, he's kind of like spreading his. Okay.
Spectator's trying to help us by
Thanks,
mousing over.
I wouldn't know the difference, man. I am so bad. I did not. I did not pass my WoW lower classes.
I did, Dan. So I got you covered.
Oh my goodness! Is that the draw that Nalguidan was looking for? It looks flashy, but there's still a Hench Clan Thug that's very scary right now.
I don't think it is. I think Nalguidan has to play Master's Call here and fish for Spring Paw and second Razor Maw. Or second Razor Maw.
Oh boy. He's looking for the secret that can potentially help bail him out. Explosive Trap kind of gets the job done for part of the board that does like a Rexar's, but it's very weak to Fungal Mancer. Oh boy. All right. I mean, still by eliminating the South Sea deckhand makes Fusion Trap a little bit more effective. But if Ike picked up Cold Blood, that would have been it.
Yeah. Do you have a Myra's here?
Let's see. Is there a Myra's lethal opportunity? So the worst case scenario.
Double Cold Blood deckhand.
Okay. So you already did the math.
Yeah. Because he has 10 on board.
You're right. You're right. It would be.
Cold Blood.
Oh, there's a deckhand.
Two Cold Bloods still left in the deck.
Cold Blood. Oh, I saw the 1 mana. It was just another Dire Maul. No attack, but the important thing is that the freezing was there anyways. Actually, is that leech? It is lethal because
it is because
yeah, the South Sea deckhand gets the charge. Nalguidan shakes his head. So the greedy play did not pay off, and this is a massive upset for Ike early on because, you know, Secret Hunter, like we said, gets ahead, but how important is it to go first and get that 1 mana threat so that way Nalguidan couldn't develop the Dire Maul to the Crackling Razor Maul. Yep. Huge win by Ike.
Out of the opposite side, which is his Odd Rogue versus Ike's Secret Hunter.
Yes, and it's also cool to watch these players because they both have something really unique about them as a player. Ike just has a cool view of the game, and a different view of the game than a lot of players. And he opens up, like a lot of the players that he practiced with. Like, I think Zalay is the biggest example. Zalay has a very kind of one-dimensional view on Hearthstone and plays every deck with that view in mind.
It's not true. That's what he brands himself.
That's what he brands himself, but also
he does not think about Hearthstone one dimension.
He said many. It's a good way. He's a very technical player, whereas Ike tries to break the mold. He tries to put things in decks and try it out and see if it works. He tries to innovate not only just what new decks, but existing decks, making them better. And that's why we get to see things like Ike Shaman, which is just kind of a Shaman deck that he was the only person playing for quite a long time. And Nalguidan is a player that he also has a pretty unique position in Hearthstone where he doesn't really travel to tour stops. He does everything online, but everything he does when he gets to a big event like playoffs or championships, he does extremely well. There's a reason why he's in top 8 for the 3rd time in the 2018-2019 season, looking for his 3rd championship appearance in 1 Hearthstone year. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's right. At the end of the 2017 year in the summer season, Nalguidan qualified for the championships. Narrowly missed out thanks to Dirty Rat and Doomsayer combination. If you guys can remember those back in the day. And then the following season, he was able to qualify, but again, narrowly missed the mark, having played a lot of good top players at the summer championships. It was back-to-back summer championships.
Yeah.
And then Nalguidan, a season later, gets a 5-2 record, misses out on tiebreakers. I think his tiebreakers were pretty poor, but still, you know, finishing with a good record nonetheless.
Yes.
And then here we are, you know, 6-1 through to the top 8. Now, things are looking very bad for this game right now. There's just way too many cards being drawn by Control Priest, but, you know, Nalguidan is a fighter, and I feel like he's going to be able to do his best to recover. And don't forget, that Priest can do all these things like draw cards, but what they can't do, TJ, is heal above 30 health.
Yep.
And unless you have Amara, the Warden of Hope, excuse me. And that's one thing that Clone Priest will capitalize on significantly. Ooh, this is cute. If you burn Shadow Reaper Anduin,
It's gonna be one more burn.
yeah. Even Alex Strauss would be really nice. Like,
Yep.
any of those would be
Or Mind Blast.
solid. Yeah, Mind Blasts. Shadow Vision, just help reduce a little bit of that burn. And that's it looks like that's why Nalguidan was ultimately okay with this double Northshire Cleric play.
It's also why he's debating on Spirit Lash. Maybe
He wants to let it stay.
Yeah, or if Ike could just trade in the Northshire Clerics himself and do the job for him, he could save Spirit Lash for something more important.
Right. If he needs Spirit Lash to use with Prophet Valen to heal up, that's or Malygos. We've seen that as a way for Clone Priest to eject out of the situation. Yeah, I think based off that, I don't mind holding on to the Spirit Lash. Scale Worm being burned, not a big deal. I mean, these are all nice tools to have, but nothing crucial. Archie Wick Doctor going to try to pick up more ways to add damage. Shadow Visions. Very nice. Seance also has its place too, given that there's a lot of really powerful minions that are in Nalguidan's deck, but I'm not sure about its direct application. So I like the Shadow Visions.
Yeah. Seance, you could do things like Seance of Velen or Malygos to try and get a little bit of extra burst in the late game.
Sure, exactly.
But Shadow Visions kind of serves that same purpose where you can just hit Shadow Vision or hit Mind Blast or Holy Fire, and it kind of serves the same purpose. Around the same damage, but much less mana expenditure involved.
Another dragon being picked up here for Ike, which is nice so that he can unlock Crowd Roaster if he wants to, but Twilight Drake is also very beefy for stats. Nalguidan's deck does not play a lot of those tricky, those combat trick cards, such as Silence or Mass Dispel. So there's a high chance that Twilight Drake will survive unless it gets Psychic Screamed away.
One part for Ike is Priest builds up pressure pretty slowly. They have a lot of big beefy minions that come down turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. But in order to pressure cloning Priest, a lot of times you have to get the pressure going a lot earlier if you want the damage to stick, before they have access to Psychic Scream, before they have access to big minions.
So this was a very unfortunate draw here for Ike. He drew a second Mind Blast. So that means the two Shadow Visions aren't going to pick up any additional damage unless I'm missing something.
Well, he does have a Holy Fire in the deck.
Okay, so he can pick up more damage that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And outside of Malygos or Velen and Spirit Lash, there's not great ways for the Priest to heal a lot over like a single turn.
Yeah.
So it is possible that Holy Fire could be what he needs to get the job done, especially post Shattered Brandon, because that's 9 damage burst from hand. And then you follow that up with Mind Blast. It's kind of a good middle ground. But no Psychic Scream for Nalguidan yet. No real way to defend himself. Does have that Eternal Servitude to bring back a Witchwood Grizzly. He's had 3 minions die so far. The Gargoyle, the Radiant Elemental, and the Grizzly. So it would be guaranteed at this point.
Yeah, you know, Ike is very well aware of the possibility of Psychic Scream to diffuse the board situation. So things like Wild Pyromancer, not that important, versus get another Fire Tree Witch Doctor shuffle in the deck. By all means, you get another chance for more damage, more burst with Mind Blast. So, you know, I like that Ike's, where his head's at right now, it seems like things are clicking. Nalguidan coins out the Lich King, one of the most powerful cards in his deck, by himself. Frostmourne is potentially big, but a Crowd Roaster #2 pickup enables the first one. And off we go, Ike. Almost at the 50-yard line. And no Psychic Scream, no Shadow Reaper Anduin. There's a Scream, but 1 mana off. You can death the 7/4, but that's
He can.
I mean, that might be what he needs to do if he.
Yeah, I
If
think
he did take
Eternal
too much damage.
Servitude and bring back the Grizzly. Didn't get Lich King as an option. There were 4 minions.
Yes.
Gargoyle, Grizzly, but he was guaranteed one of his big top minions.
Yeah, it is the turn before Ike can play the Twilight Acolyte and Cabal Shadow Priest, but another Crowd Roaster. Did someone tell me that Ike accidentally put 2 Crowd Roasters in a deck? Because that is a happy accident if I've ever seen one. Ike recognizing that it might be more important to let things like the Crowd Roaster potentially get killed as opposed to his Twilight Drake getting damaged in case there are things like Shadow Essence, and Spirit Lash to clear with Malygos Revalent. But the Twilight Drake being at 7 health is still relatively safe.
Yep.
Because Malygos would only do a 6 damage Spirit Lash. Lyra and Radiant Elemental, but I mean that's not a lot to go off of with just a Spirit Lash. This looks like a Psychic Scream. Not looking good for Nalguidan.
Surprised he.
Ooh, the Spellstone upgraded though.
Yeah, I guess going to turn 9 and seeing 2 dragons being played that were active makes you not want to heal past 15.
True, yeah, exactly.
I was thinking maybe you Spirit Lash there to try and give yourself a little bit of a health buffer since you have the second Spirit Lash as well. And you may not have the time and the mana to play it in the future or a big enough board to get 4 healing. It's likely that you will. But with 2 in hand, maybe it's redundant. But he saw both Crowd Roasters active. And
right. And there's not that many dragons in the deck that he hasn't seen, right? There's another Twilight Drake, there's Primordial Drakes.
there's Dustbreakers.
Oh, there's Dustbreakers, yeah.
He saw 1 Scaleworm burn. I guess Scaleworm's not a dragon. It's activated by dragons. And then Alexstrasza. So it wouldn't make sense for him to assume Alexstrasza.
Right.
So healing above 15 has less value if that's what you assume.
Ooh, another Eternal Certitude.
Is it time to
Spellstone. Just get that Lich King back.
I
If he can.
I was going to say go off with Lyra plus Radiant.
I like that too because you pump up your Spellstone even further.
But hits Lich King.
Yes.
And
nice.
could Eternal Servitude again. But that is a valuable tool.
You can also double dip with 2 Lich King cards.
Yeah.
But it's a little sketchy.
And Vivid Nightmare does have a decent amount of uses
for combos. Yeah.
For combos. I think just playing second Eternal Servitude, going for another taunt.
Yeah.
Just to try and protect the life total.
I think he is afraid of that.
That's the game.
Oh, you're
Holy
right.
Fire, Mind Blast, Mind Blast.
Oh
Got
my
10 mana
gosh.
active.
And heal. Nalguidan. He also saw a Fire Tree Witch Doctor spell picked up. That was a high possibility that it picked up more damage. And Nalguidan gets blasted for 15, so delicately playing around things like the Alexstrasza and trying to maximize his pressure. But Control Priest with the Freeze Mage and the burn. That was a Fireball, Frostbolt. Who gets to play the Gatekeeper and Spoiler. But currently, Ike has next on deck one of the most, if not the most powerful class in Hearthstone, and Hunter. A lot of people peg Hunter as #1 public enemy.
That's right, and it didn't really take that many tools to push it into not just viability, but push it into that #1 spot. Spring Paw and Master's Call. I mean, that's basically much it. All the other tools that they're using, I guess Death Stalker Rexar, but they've had that for a while. I guess that's all the other tools they've been using, they've had forever. Scavenging Hyena, Timberwolf, Animal Companion, those are all from the classic set. Those are cards that have been around since the beginning of Hearthstone time.
It's true. In fact, there's a lot of basic cards being used like that. We go back to Odd Paladin playing Raid Leader and Stormwind Champion. I saw a few Odd Mages playing Nightblade, DJ. Oh my goodness, hold the presses. That is a turn 3, 5 damage hover. Nalguidan is taking big damage, but that Spirit Lash is going to bail him out, but I think a lot of damage has already been done. Like, Ike doesn't have the Spellstone because of things like Mass Hysteria, but if he can pick up just a little bit more momentum, he's got a lot of damage coming in. That's not it, though.
Yeah. And a lot of key resources used here, but I like the push from Ike, especially in this matchup because it's basically just Spirit Lash that punishes an early push like that.
Yep.
There's nothing else that stops early aggression. Maybe a Radiant Elemental could have chipped through the board a little bit early on.
Yeah, Radiant Elemental helps piece together like just better plays. You can draw a little bit more. You can Shadow Visions to dig deeper and squeeze it all in one turn.
Oh, is that Mashers?
That is a big draw, TJ.
Oh, man.
But the nice thing is that Nalguidan already has one of his more important tools in Mass Hysteria. Ike has that Wind Fury just to add a little bit extra damage here. Winter Grizzly would be a 5/6. Nalguidan opting instead to go for a Lyra because Lyra basically has taunt anyways. And he might be able to pick up some powerful priest removal spells.
Ooh.
Oh, well, there's no Shadow Reaper Anduin, but that could be an okay substitute. The more I think about it, though, it's kind of bad. You don't really want to shut off your healing because I think Hunter just wants to aggro you down.
Yeah. Nalguidan's still under a ton of pressure, though. Timberwolf's going to allow Ike to push 4 more with the Dire Maul, 2 more with the Hero Power, bring Nalguidan down to 14.
Oh, yeah.
And the only defensive tool he really has right now is that Witchwood Grizzly. And then after that, oh, okay. We're in business.
That's a nice draw, too.
Yes,
That's
it is.
a really nice draw. So now Witchwood Grizzly into the Eternal Servitude. Unless Ike can find a way to easily push past this. He does not. He draws another secret. That is not good for Ike because he was going to draw that secret anyways. I mean, 5-mana 4/4 draw 2 cards is still a very solid minion in your deck.
Yes,
it's just,
it
it could
is.
have been even better.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do it again. Seance and put another Witchwood Grizzly in the way.
Yeah, that Seance is big. And also, it's redundancy. So it's more Witchwood Grizzlies in the pool, which makes it, you know, good for Nalguidan to, if he needs to improve his chances for discovering a single Witchwood Grizzly later on for the Eternal Servitude. Is that how it works, TJ? Like, the more copies of something that died, the higher likelihood it discovers it? Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't mess up my interaction.
Yeah, because all of the interactions are different minions.
Yes. Like, obviously, you can't discover 2 Witchwood Grizzlies or revive them. But
Eternal Servitude, let's say there's 4 minions. 2 of them are Witchwood Grizzlies, and you have a higher, well, I guess you'd have to be more than that to have a higher chance. 6 minions and 2 of them Witchwood Grizzlies.
Yeah, precisely. That Zombies, by the way, seems to have the Vile Brute Skitterer along with the Crackling Razor Maw. So it has Poisonous Rush, and then you can adapt a friendly beast to have Poisonous or +3 attack or Wind Fury.
That is a very good Zombies.
It's very powerful, yeah.
Especially against this hand from Nalguidan. That is almost the perfectly crafted Zombies for this situation in particular.
Well, here's another thing, too, about Nalguidan's hand. So, you know, we talk about how drawing the secrets before Subject 9 stinks. Look at Nalguidan drawing all of his big threats while he has Cloning Gallery in his hand as well. And so that is something that is not, it's not ideal whatsoever.
Yeah, that Cloning Gallery will pull Malagos, the 2 Radiant Elementals, the 2 Gilded Gargoyles, and Ziliax.
It's still a very reasonable setup. You know, Malagos with double Radiant Elemental is very powerful, but Nalguidan has no actual ammo behind it.
Yeah.
And he just picked up a card that's not that great. Army of the Dead and Cloning Priest, when you've drawn most of your minions, is not going to be that impactful, I feel.
Yeah. So I think I'm looking at, the Subject 9 here, trying to look for +3 attack or Poisonous. If you put it on the Dire Maul, you're only... I guess it would be the same, because you could Wind Fury as well. You have 2 outcomes, Wind Fury or Poisonous, to push the Witchwood Grizzly. Oh, no, you wouldn't, because that's 3 health.
Yeah, this seems perfectly fine. Ike should be able to push through.
Yeah.
Good damage.
Another 5.
If he just had a little bit extra juice, he would be able to sneak in more damage. Oh, wow!
Velen plus Spirit Lash.
That double dips for people who don't know. So you deal 10 damage to the board, but you heal for 20. And
now we got ourselves a good old-fashioned game of Hearthstone. Deathstalker Rexar versus Cloning Gallery Priest.
Yeah, it's Rexar versus the world, it feels like. You dip to all corners of the globe in Azeroth, and you'll find pretty much the entire essence of Nalguidan's deck. You know, Prophet Valen, Malygos, Lich King, Ziliax.
Ooh.
Another big legendary draw.
I mean, Malygos almost does nothing on this board.
Yeah.
It doesn't contest the 6/6. There's no spells in hand that deal damage.
Yeah, and Nalguidan doesn't have the Spellstone either. Because the Spellstone would help get charged throughout this entire process. So Nalguidan, yes, he's gotten a couple of really important bailouts, like his Spirit Lashes. He had 2 of them. One that was discovered through Shadow Visions, one that was drawn. But the pressure's still on. And you heard about how a lot of people feel like things such as Deathstalker Rexar single-handedly wins them control matchups. You might be able to see exactly why that is just through this game.
Yeah, Nalguidan healed up to nearly full last turn, nearly. And now is down to 13, staring at a lethal setup. There's no kill commands left. That's one thing he can
Yep.
be not as fearful of, but
Mm-hmm. This Mass Hysteria.
What is Elun's will?
Trying to think if Nalguidan is better off reviving before or after. I don't know. Like I think because he has Eternal Servitude and he wants to land onto like the Lich King, but I think he wants that minion to stay alive, so he's going to Mass Hysteria first. Looks like Malygos has died.
well, it gets freezing traps
freezing
because it
trap. I forgot
attacks.
about the
Yeah.
secrets. You're right.
So it could have died if the minions had attacked in first,
Mm-hmm.
but that's quite a poor outcome.
Yep. And now Nalguidan has a choice of Shadow Visions to remove or Eternal Servitude. What minions have died? We have Witchwood Grizzly, we have Prophet Valen, we have Lich King. Those are all great minions to revive.
Yeah, and if he plays Shadow Form to clear off this minion, then yes, he'll be able to pick apart boards a little bit easier.
Oh, there's Lyra as well. You really want that Lich King. Zul'jin picked up. There's been a pretty decent amount of spells being played, but I can build it up even more.
Yeah, and also, you don't want to give up Deathstalker Rexar hero power unless you're going to win the game with the Zul'jin.
That's right, that's right.
Which isn't really the case. He has played Animal Companion, which could get Huffer, and both kill commands can go face, but that's it. That is the last Spirit Lash.
Mm-hmm. Nalguidan has an opportunity to play something really big here while he has a moment to breathe. Obsidian Statue. Just get that into the res pool as well. Still no Spellstone, though.
And even beyond that, he doesn't really have too many cheap spells to be able to buff up that Spellstone quickly.
Yeah.
And Lyra has died, so he can't draw that or pull it from Zarek's Cloning Gallery to try and chain together certain things in order to try and chain cheap spells to buff up Spellstone. So once he even draws Spellstone, it's going to be a while before it's even buffed up enough to have a huge impact.
Ike in deep thought. Seeing if he can maximize his chances that an important minion survives based off the Obsidian Statue kill. Yeah, and it does. That's probably the best target for him.
Yes, it is.
And that is why you want to sequence things properly. And also, he minimized the amount of life gain through the flanking strike first.
I don't even know
How he wins this game.
Yeah.
This is looking more grim by the turn here, TJ. But the nice thing is, Nalguidan still has a decent amount of minions to pull from the deck. They're just not that high impact because there's not a lot of top end. There's low end through the Gilded Gargoyles. The Gilded Gargoyles, though, they don't allow you to do the thing that you want to do, which is coin out the Malygos. You can't go beyond 10 mana crystals in Hearthstone. That's the real pain point for me.
Yep.
Like, sure. Cool. This is like one of those things where someone posts like, wow, look at all the cool things I did with my new legendary card from the Boomsday expansion, and people just type neat with a period afterwards. Like that was a neat play.
Very neat. He could have Spirit Lash there to heal up, but he realized that Ike, because he's playing the secret version, does not play Unleash the Hound.
Yeah.
So not a big way to be punished.
Yeah, spell hunters are the ones that you have to be really concerned about.
Yeah, or just the good old mid-range hunter that runs sort of that same package, just instead of secrets, Spellstone, and Subject 9, you run more beasts.
Yeah, and I mean, the key to Nalguidan, too, is if you can find a way to revive something meaningful and keep these radiant elementals on board. But Ike has charge minions now, and he can just take down these radiants. Still not the end of the world, but still not looking good here. Shadow Visions can pick up the Spellstone. I think Nalguidan, that's his last chance. Has to be that Spellstone. Needs to start charging it up.
Now needs to find a way to clear off the board.
I mean, he has Psychic Scream, and I think Secret's been played, so I think also he's traded enough to narrow it down that it's either Wandering Monster or Explosive Trap, because he's attacked minions and played minions since then. So he should know that it's Explosive or Wandering Monster.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want... first of all, I think he wants his Radiant Elementals to die, but he doesn't want his Gilded Gargoyle to die. That's kind of like the weird thing, because once a Gilded Gargoyle, the coin goes in your hand, the value's already been generated. You don't want that to come back with the Spellstone. You don't need that anymore.
But the coins also help you get to the point where you can res more minions with the Spellstone. So if you use those coins to gain 2 extra minions...
You're right. The coins are also fairly important, too, to charge. Just let him squeeze in more efficient plays, too. Charge the Spellstone, and then coin out the Mind Blasts. Not impossible. And that's not a good draw for Ike. He's got an okay turn, but okay doesn't cut it.
Gonna build a beast.
Halazi has one of the highest power levels, but is it too expensive? Because there's a lot of cards in Ike's hand that he wants to get out. It might not be great for tempo.
Well, Halazi Snow Flipper Penguins, pretty damn good value.
Yeah, I guess it's, it's 5 mana 4/3 that puts a bunch of rushers out.
But Valbert Skitter also one of the most impactful beasts, just straight up. Because it can allow you to get over a big minion if that's what he needs. It's like Halazi plus the Valbrute Skitterer. So a 4/5 Poisonous Rush that fills your hand with 1/1 Lynxes. Quite the card.
I'd say, yeah. Spellstone. Still not going to be enough here. Nalguidan does have an Army of the Dead, and there's still a decent amount of minions. Remember, the Xerix Cloning Gallery only pulls out copies, so he could pull out Ziliax, could pull out, the 2/3 Radiant Elementals, and clear off a decent amount of the board and go to town.
Ooh.
But that's good, because, I mean, if Nalguidan had like 6 or 7 cards remaining in his deck, it felt like a pretty solid option, but this is not reliable.
So he's going to Mind Blast, coin, Spellstone, Spear Lash? Because that would be 3 spells to buff up the... He's going to do it the other way.
Does he need to do this right here, right now, TJ? Like, did he feel like he had an opportunity to take it even slower? Oh, the Lyra comes down. But he Spirit Lash first. Can Vivid Nightmare, can Gilded Gargoyle, he's running out of time. No true investment into Lyra. This did not pan out the way Nalguidan was hoping for.
No.
And with Halazi Rush with Beasts, with the Poisonous, how much damage is this right now? That's not enough.
Not enough to kill, but it's enough to get over Lyra, which is really the only value generator Nalguidan has at this point. He doesn't have another Spellstone.
Yeah.
He's in an Army of the Dead.
Oh, your hand was almost empty? Let me fix that for you. Sincerely, Deathstalker Exarch. X Halazi. I just trying to think about what's like the optimal way to trade here, because if his opponent's at full life anyways after its attack, it doesn't matter if you efficiently clear the Ziliax with 1 attack versus 2. I mean, I just want to clear Ziliax, clear off Lyra, and push damage. I think, you know, time is very much on Ike's side here. Two Spellstones have been used, if I recall correctly. I mean, the Ziliax is great, but what are you going to actually do? There's no win condition anymore. Like, Nalguidan's win condition actually has become Shadow Form.
Yeah. I think there's only been 1 Spellstone used.
Oh, has there only been 1?
Yeah.
Is it a different game that he was using Spellstone? I think it was a Control Breach, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
He used a Spellstone in the turn before he died. So there's 1, but then his win condition becomes hit Spellstone, buff it up to 4, hit... Nope, there's... He can't play the Malagos!
He still has, you know, like a Holy Smite in the deck, right? So that he could Mind Blast and Holy Smite and try to get the damage over that way.
I just don't think he has enough. Even with perfect Spellstone outcome, or perfect, yeah, Spellstone outcomes.
That's not bad.
But it's just, just feels like it's kind of delaying the inevitable. Can't do that.
Wishful thinking, Nalguidan. Hey, we've all done it. Hey, hold your lows in chat. I know that you guys have tried that before. And it wasn't just with this. You tried to coin Mountain Giant.
Everybody's tried to coin him out.
Yeah,
Giant.
you tried to innervate beyond 10 mana before.
Yep.
Everyone's done it. But it does sting especially bad when it's on this stage with this much stakes at play. I think, you know, it's one of those things where I think Nalguidan wasn't 100% sure, maybe like 99.5% sure. It's like, just in case I'm wrong, I'm going to try to see if this works.
Yeah. When the stakes are this high, when you're fighting for a spot in the championship,
Right.
in Nalguidan's position, his 3rd championship in a single HCT season, or HCT year rather, then you're going to try everything, even if you think it's a 99% chance. Hey, maybe the game will just give you this one. Be like, I see this guy's losing. I'll give him the 11 mana. But nope, doesn't work like that.
Man, Hunter's just so powerful. Even has anti-fatigue mechanics through the Dire Frenzy. Nalguidan picks up Eternal Servitude.
Here we go.
That would have been a great use of the coin just now. Oh, I don't mean to rub it in, but you know, that's kind of the level that we expect from these players. You need to be able to know every single interaction. Those are your edges. You know, those are your 1 to 2% extra bumps.
There is a potential for a miracle.
God, he had Bittertide Hydra available to him, and he has the ability to get Stone Tusk Boar. Oh, he chose Direwolf Alpha.
He's just playing it slow. He knows that he has this in fatigue as well.
Yeah.
He knows that Nalguidan basically has no win condition left because he can't play Malagos. It's not in the death pool. Even if he gets perfect Spellstone and gets like Lyra, Double Radiant, plus Velen, even then, it's still very unlikely that he wins. But that's his win condition. Lyra, a fully upgraded Spellstone, which seems nearly impossible. Lyra, Double Radiant.
He has Eternal Servitude and Vivid Nightmare as well.
Yeah, but I don't think that will... Oh, wait.
So what he could do is have Eternal Servitude and Vivid Nightmare. If he's able to get random elementals on the board preemptively, the Mind Blasts will deal 20 damage each, so that's 40. So then he gets Valen,
The Velen.
and Vivid Nightmare, and then double Mind Blast.
If he had the coin! No!
If he had
That's
the
11
coin!
mana! No!
Ah! Nalguidan.
Lethal out!
It's true. I mean, it's not the highest percentage, but it's a percentage nonetheless. It's a relevant one. It's not like a 1% chance.
He still has a Gilded Gargoyle on his deck.
And Radiance.
And Radiance.
Yeah, he could Army of the Dead. That gives him 4 mana. For 2 mana, he could play Eternal Servitude. For Vivid, oh, he could. He could do that. Okay, and I think right now he's holding out because if
he wants to draw further into his deck to guarantee it.
If he draws the double Radiant Elemental, he still has that out. Okay, I see the line. I
It's
see
there.
the line from Nalguidan.
It's there.
It's a thin line, I mean, he used a number 2 pencil to scribble this down mentally.
But think how many minions have died. Ziliax 3 times at this point, or twice.
He's a
Radiance
robot.
multiple times. Gilded Gargoyles multiple times. Witchwood Grizzly multiple times.
Oh,
Lich King.
man.
Lyra multiple times.
Dude, this Tundra Rhino, Kraken Razor Maw can also end it right here with Wind Fury. +3 attack is 8 plus the 3,
Plus an additional 3.
15.
Plus 4.
Tundra Rhino is lethal. If you squeeze in the Tundra Rhino in between the Direwolf Alpha.
It's exactly 7.
Perfect sequencing. Nails the adapt. Ike is coming to the Winter Championship.
In a 3-0 sweep over Nalguidan.